If you knew or you found out somehow that Jesus was coming back in a month, let's say, November 20th, what would you do? If you believed that the second coming of Christ was imminent, what would you do? Would you come to church more frequently and spend more time praying? Would you clear your calendar between now and then of all doctor's appointments? Would you stop paying your bills? Would you cancel out of your plans to have dinner with friends? Or would you keep doing what you're doing and live out your daily routine as usual? So I suspect, of course, that there will be many people who would stop all activities and either stay at home out of fear or maybe come to church, asking forgiveness for their sins, seeking God's mercy. But how many people would feel confident enough to continue living as they have always done, even if there was just 1 month left? Jesus makes it clear today in this parable that until the time of the Master's return, we are to stay busy doing what we are supposed to do. We're to continue visiting the sick, feeding the hungry. We are to continue to act in a way that brings betterment to the lives of people. And yes, we are to continue praying every day, as we always should be doing, asking God to bless us and the world. Even if Christ was to return next month, there are still hungry people to feed, homeless people to shelter. There are still people who are in need of comfort and consolation. There are still people who are lonely and need someone to speak to. So if we're already committed to living out the gospel each day, then we would have no need to make major changes, even if we knew that the Lord was coming. It's only those, I think, who have not been doing what they're supposed to do, who would need to make some radical changes in anticipation of Christ's return and to seek God's mercy besides. In writing to the Romans, St. Paul says that we must be obedient to God in our minds and in our bodies. We are to present ourselves to God as people who've already been raised from the dead. In other words, we are not to live as slaves to sin, but as slaves to righteousness, obedient to Jesus in every way. And if we truly live as people who are obedient to Christ, then we've already been raised up to something new. And we will have no need to fear the coming of Christ. By our obedience, we will be recognized on that day as God's sons and daughters, and we will receive the reward for our faith and our good works. But we have to be vigilant until that time comes. We need to stay alert. But let us also stay the course as we live each day with the hope of eternal life.